Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Against All Odds. My name is Kim Sabanda. Now, as you know, when you have been faced with so many challenges right here, where you've gone against all odds, whether it be an accident, whether it be a rape case, it might be the situation we have today, where you've been diagnosed with a deadly disease that could take your life, but it doesn't, and you've gone against all odds. That's what we're talking about today. It is the month of October where we talk about breast cancer, but the kind of cancer we're talking about today is not breast cancer, but we'll find out more. I do have in studio with me today a very special guest, Collins Mupande, and he's here to tell us his story about how he went against all odds. Collins, how are you?
I'm fine, Kim. How are you?
I'm great. So tell us, who is Collins?
Collins is a dad, a husband. I'm married and I've got 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. Grew up in Gweru, now based in Harare.
Now based in Harare.
Yes.
Now, your story is a very touching one. How did you come to find out that you had cancer?
Maybe I should start from the beginning that it was January 2023 when we're all going busy with our, what do you call this, our resolutions. I kept on vomiting, and then I decided to go and see the local clinic. When I visited the doctor said, no, you might have acids, right? But the way your acids are, you might need to go and get an endoscopy so that we can see what really is happening. Because when I ate, I couldn't really swallow the food. I would end up vomiting, right? Then she prescribed. Then I went to see to get an endoscopy. Did an endoscopy and an endoscopy and a colonoscopy. So when we did that, the doctor took pieces of. He found out that I had sort of like a lump on my esophagus, right, and also in my stomach. So he took. They called them biopsy pieces of that growth or lump per se. So he took about 4 pieces, and then he went and did so that they can do the testing
Yes.
test for cancer. And then they came back, and then he told me that no, you don't have cancer, but you've got ulcers. I'm sure you've got what? Ulcers.
Ulcers.
So he started treating me for ulcers. I remember the day that I started treatment was 24 January 2023, right? He says within a week or 2 weeks, you will notice a significant what? Difference. February we went, 2 weeks gone. The pain got worse and got worse. I kept on throwing up. The pain, it was excruciating pain, right? And then I went back to the doctor. Look, doctor, it seems like it's not working. And then he says, no, uri kuthetha munhu wechiri maufani kuthetha. And then I'm like, no, I feel this pain and it's really too much for me. So there's one night I could not sleep. All this time that I'm telling you that I was sick, I would have a problem. I would fall really sick at night, right? During the day, I would be in pain, but at night, it would be very, very painful. So this one night, I really got really, really sick, and then my wife drove me to a local clinic, and then we had reports from the doctor that had done colonoscopy and whatnot, and the scans that we had done, and then we gave the other doctor what attended me that night. And then the doctor said, from this report, it looks like you didn't want to say, but it looks like, what did your doctor say? I said, no, he's treating me for ulcers. He says, no, this report says something else. There's a lump, and there's something we didn't want to say. And then my wife kept on saying, no, can you please just be honest with us? He says, your doctor is not, he didn't really give you a good diagnosis. This could be a cancer. That was the first time that I heard. And then I went back to the doctor who did the colonoscopy. And then he told me that no, he got really angry and agitated that these are junior doctors. How can he tell me this? I've been in this for a long time. I'll give you his number. Can I call him? I want to call him. You know, how can he say that this is, I'm telling you, this is what? An ulcer. It will take time. Let me change the medication. He changed the medication. I think he went for another 2 weeks. The pain, as I was telling you, the pain kept on getting worse. What later happened was that I think my parents came to visit me on a Sunday, and I was in so much pain. So at that time, when I saw them and I was explaining the pain, tears came. I started crying, right? And then I think it touched my parents, and then we then decided, look, let's look for another doctor. And then we went to see a doctor by the name, is the former permanent secretary for health. I'm forgetting the name. I'll tell you later. So this doctor says, and then he did an allergy test. I told him, no, I've been diagnosed with ulcer. He says, no, that's not an ulcer. Let's do an allergy test. I don't know if you know about allergy test. We did an allergy test. He says, no, don't eat pork, don't eat this, don't anything. I think the only thing that I was supposed to eat was beef. He says, these all the other things are the ones that are making you what? Irritable. You're reacting to that. But I've been eating these things for the past, for my whole life. Maybe this is built up. And then he says, let's start doing that. We started doing the program, and then we changed the diet and everything like that. But the pain kept on increasing. At that time, I could not stand upright, because the moment I stand upright, my stomach would start bubbling and unnecessary burps, even if you haven't ate anything, unnecessary burps and stuff like that. And then to the extent that I really felt the pain, and the pain medication was not working, I told my wife that I think I'm about to go.
To go as
to
in
die.
to die.
That's the point that I thought ndakufa. And then she said to me that look, she didn't want to accept it. I didn't want to accept it, but the pain that I was going through, I thought ndakufa.
There you have it. A pain that could make you feel like you are about to go. We'll be back right after the break. We are back in our next segment right here on Against All Odds. My name is Kim Sabanda. And of course, in the month where we are talking about breast cancer, we are here with a cancer survivor who has gone against all odds. His name, Collins Mupande. Collins, you just said the pain got so bad that you felt like you were about to go.
Yes. So we went back to the doctor that I mentioned was the former permanent secretary, Dr. Chimedza. We went back to him. Then he said, look, let's give it another week or two. Can we, whether that we can do another endoscope if there's need be, or we do another scan. Let's give it another 2 weeks. And then the pain, I went back home. The pain got worse. So as people come in and they hear that you're sick, we changed doctors. We went to Dr. Mtetsi. I went to see Dr. Mtetsi. The moment that he saw me, he says, "No, you're really sick, but I'm not an expert. and gastronomy.
Gastronomy.
I'll give you the best doctor. So he says, and then we went to Dr. Mudombi. He's a gastronomy doctor. When I got there, it was around 3, 4. And then he told me that there is no way you have an ulcer. This is not an ulcer. An ulcer, you're saying you were diagnosed on the 24th. This is March. This was now March. It would have been healed. And the pain that you're going through, you can't even stand. I can see you can't even stand. There's something else. You didn't want to say it was cancer, but it's something else. And you're not living here now. I'm taking you to the hospital. No, look, it says, I'm taking you to the hospital. In my whole life, I'd never been in a hospital.
Wow.
And then we went to a hospital. He booked me to hospital. The next morning, he did an endoscopy again. And then he took 24 pieces. 24. Then he sent 12 to Lancet, 12 to CMAS. He says, look, if you got to diagnose that you've got cancer, we need to at least get the same result here and get the same result there, right? And then he also says, unfortunate thing, the first doctor that did the endoscopy only took 5, and it might not have been conclusive. So I've taken 24, so it takes the 12. I'm already in the hospital, and then we did a scan while I was in hospital. They discovered that I had water in my lungs. My breathing was very, very bad, and I couldn't even stand. That's why I couldn't stand, couldn't bath myself and everything like that. So it's not the right lung has got water. So we need to drain it. We went to one of the scan places. Then they put I got pricked, and then they started draining the water. I think they took out about 2 to 3 liters of water.
Wow.
That was in my lungs.
That's a lot.
So while I was that, the scan came. The scan explained that there's a lump. That lump that was there's a lump, and the water had been drained. And then they said, now we wait for the results. The results took another, I think, 3, 4 days. And then Dr. Mdombi came. I remember the day. He says, I want everybody there. Your family. And I needed to tell you. But I think in my mind I could tell. So then he says, unfortunately, Collins, you have lymphoma cancer. They call it Non-Hodgkin Lymphoma cancer. And it has progressed. At stage 4. So, hearing that.
And you always hear the stories of stage 4.
Yes. I always hear, they say cancer, and then I didn't understand when they say stage 4. It seems like when they say stage 4, it is really
gone to the last.
Yeah, because I think he said that it affected my lungs, the one that had been drained, my liver, something to do with my diaphragm, and my back. I had a severe back pain. And then he says, I really owe it to Dr. Mdon, because he's the one who really went out of his way to get me, to really diagnose me. And then he says, look, my job is gastronomy. I'm going to get you an oncologist doctor from Paranyato who will come and look at you. The doctor came. Luckily, the doctor who came to see me, my last born daughter and her daughter go to the same school, so we knew each other. So when she came, she's like, I know. You know, when you meet each other, you don't really talk. She says, I know you. And then I explained to her, it's just like, it's a 50-50 chance.
Okay.
Yes. The cancer that you have rapidly moves.
Okay.
It's a fast cancer, not treated early, it moves. But it also responds well to treatment. It has gone, as you explained, stage 4, it means it's like the last stage of what? Of cancer, and we really need to what? Start treatment. So upon hearing that, family, I know that there's this thing that people would say, no, doctors are not really, there's mobile doctors, let's take you out, let's do this, and then the doctor, the oncologist, was against that, saying that, look, you might decide to take, at the event of India and stuff like that, you might decide to take him to India, but that's another 3 weeks, because you're gonna go. They don't, as much as they might have a report, they'll do their own tests, and the cancer that he has moves fast. And at that time, I was uncontrollable. I kept on, when you're by yourself, when everybody goes, if you've been in that situation, that the hospital visits, they do comfort, but people leave at 6, right? 6, 7, they're gone. Spouse stays up to 7. Then you're left by what? By yourself. And you're being told, and you're thinking, look, I've got cancer. And over and above the stress, the pain I went through. I don't know how many times I prayed to God, please spare my life. Please let me heal me, please. So I kept on praying that please spare my life, please spare my life. And then it was just really painful.
To have a diagnosis that changes your heart, your spirit, your mind, to the point where you just have one prayer. Please, God, don't take my life. I still have so much to live for. The show is Against All Odds, and we'll find out how Collins has gone against all odds. Welcome back to Against All Odds, still with Collins' story that brings chills down one's spine. To be diagnosed with cancer and having a 50-50 chance of survival. And here he is. Let's find out more. Collins, we've said our prayers. The visits have come, the diagnosis is here. Tell us about the treatment journey.
Right. The oncologist then recommended a blood specialist called Dr. Chatambuza. He came, and then we started our chemo. That I think 2 days later after the diagnosis, we started the chemo. Chemo is hard. It's hard, and the first chemo it went for about 6-7 hours, because I think the last drug that they do it slowly via drip. It was painful, and I had no taste, I couldn't do anything. I was just weak that whole day, and then we did chemo that day, and then they said I was supposed to do 6 chemo sessions, And then we did the first one, and then I stayed in hospital for another 4 days, so that they could see how I had reacted to the chemo. Right. I went home. Us being us, human beings, blacks, I also went through some herbs. There's a good herbal doctor who came, and he prescribed some herbs. So I did both, the chemo and the herbs. So I used to do the chemo after every 21 days. I couldn't, the first week after the chemo, you can't eat, you have no taste, and that thing that they say that you lose hair, I lost hair. My fingernails became black. I think it's the reaction from the chemo. It was just painful, but I had a support base. I had church groups who came and prayed and gave me hope.
What church do you go to?
I go to Anglican Church. So I had the All Souls Church where I go, and then St. Cuthbert's where my parents go. Yes, and they kept on praying for me and kept on giving me hope. I had love from my workmates, and as much as I had that, I think I forgot to mention that at one time I requested that can you look for a lawyer so that we can do
the will.
A will. And then my wife said, "Oh, you're going to survive. You're going to survive." I said, "No, look, I don't feel it. Do this, take care of my kids. Do this, do this, do this." So anyway, so we kept on going for the chemo. I did 21. I did 6 sessions. On the 3rd session, then the doctor recommended that I go to. There's a scan that is not readily available in Harare. We had to go to Pretoria to do the scan. That scan is done, I think, via nuclear. I'm not sure what really it is. It was nuclear that would test that the cancer cells. That was after the 3rd session. How are they reacting to the medication? Yes, because the size it was I think 16 centimeters or 17 centimeters, so it had reduced to about 12 after the 3rd session, but it was still there. Yeah, and then I went back. I came back. I did the other 3, and then I had to go back again. I went back. I did the scan. The scan now, what happens, what he says, according to what the doctor says, if I had done the scan here, the lump is still there, but it's no longer cancerous.
It's no longer.
Yes, the whole cancer is what? Has disappeared.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was how it went, and the herbs, I kept on taking the herbs, and they also helped. So it's from a stage where I felt that I was about to die, I was dying, to where I had hope, and I felt that I had beaten it, not by my own doing or what, but it's by the grace of God that we managed to fight it against all odds. And special mention is to Dr. Mnombi, who really stood and diagnosed me, Dr. Mtetsi, and
you said
sorry?
Chimera. And then
Dr. Chimeza.
Chimeza, yes.
Yes, and the lady, the oncologist, Dr. I'm forgetting, I'll remember her name. But it's very, very difficult. It's very painful. Chemo is painful. Chemo when a person is going through chemo, even after the session, you can go for a week or 2 weeks before you get to normal, to get you back to what you perceive to be normal. But the next week, again, you have to go back again.
Sure. So what can you say to somebody that's listening in right now? Somebody that says, I might have these symptoms. Somebody that says, I've just been diagnosed. Somebody who says, I'm going through the chemo. What words can you say to that person?
First thing that I would advise people is that to go for regular medical checkups. Regular medical checkups. If you're on a medical aid, your medical aid sends you a happy birthday message every year, right? And they tell you come for a free checkup. Most people don't go, don't even go, right? So what my doctor says is that if you do regular checkups every 3 to 6 months, had I gone for a checkup, maybe say in 2022 December, say they could have noticed something is wrong, and then it would have been diagnosed faster. And then also with doctors, if you feel that I'm not, doctor anti-diagnosis, so look for a second opinion.
And a third.
And a third opinion. Yes.
Yeah.
Look for a second opinion and a third opinion, if you can. Also, if you've been diagnosed with cancer, hope, have faith that you will what?
That
you will make it. I think that is what really made me go through that. I had so many people saying that no, you can beat this, and then as you get into it, you hear stories of survivors, that this person has survived, this person survived. Yes, yeah. And then before that, when you'd hear of cancer, you'd think that that over. But I made it against all odds.
Definitely, Collins Mupande is sitting right here, having gone against all odds. A cancer that could have left him which actually left him at 50-50. And here he is on the positive side of that 50%. You could have the same story. You could be going through it right now. The chemo, the doctor's appointments, the hospitals, the tests. And you're wondering, is there hope? Well, according to Collins and his story, there is hope as long as you believe. And that's all that matters, right here on Against All Odds. This is also my last segment as Kim Sabanda, who's been standing in for Rachel. And she'll be back next week with more stories of how you went against all odds. Until next time, it's bye-bye for now.